There we
Ah,
go.
so we get to record because school and shit.
I'm glad I got my face hair going on for the same thing.
Yes, I mean the little gray stubbles and facial hair. Yeah.
Dude, I just started going gray in earnest over the last year or so.
No, you're still young then. That was decades ago for me.
Decades.
Okay, maybe not decades, but at least a decade.
No, fair enough.
Dude, so what's up, man?
Oh, not a lot. Just moved. Start a new job tomorrow.
Nice. Where at?
Um, it's a uniform service company that works out of Inglewood and the Springs.
Are they kind of like a Cisco type thing?
I'm not familiar with Cisco to be perfectly honest, but
They do like uniforms and then like washable stuff in restaurants and
oh yeah,
businesses and then go pick it
yeah,
up
yeah.
and yeah, okay. Yeah. Nice.
So this particular company runs out of. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sort out this weird bubble of light I got going on.
You're all good, dude. That's why I went outside. Simpler is easier.
No, it really is. I essentially live in a basement now, so it's
Nice. I got you.
I, dude, middle of the summer, something something. Is the weird bright white back here fine?
Oh yeah. No, you're good, dude. This is literally a 100 level class.
Ah, well, I got you.
Yeah, no, that's why what I sent you, you notice I didn't send you any more. I think we can BS our way through this.
Yeah. Uh, it's a school thing, so a little bit of effort.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the stupid wind shifted on me. I had a whole plan for this entire conversation, but then the wind shifted on me and I'm in a courtyard for an apartment. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can only go so far with that whole thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
Such is life. Ah,
dude. Yeah, yeah.
all right. So,
Oh,
I do know we happen to be on a little bit of a time limit with the stupid Zoom, and I don't know exactly how that works, but there's like you can only do it so long when it's free.
oh, that makes sense. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's get to this so that we can get that done out of the way.
All right. So I basically just have the interview questions open in a separate window, and I'm just gonna kind of go through those, and we'll make some shit up and figure it out. Sound good?
That works for me.
Hey, cool. Thumbs up. Let's do this. Leroy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Oh God, I was there for that. Okay, I'm done. Okay, maybe not in that raid, but okay, I'm done. I'm
I
done.
would have figured you more for the World of Warcraft funeral. The that
Oh
one.
God,
That
dude,
one.
I started playing World of Warcraft about in classic, so the Jenkins meme, that whole
Yeah.
funeral thing was a fuck. It was just I've been playing video games for too many years.
I've never played, but I understand it, and I've seen that and understand what happened, and both of them, and I love it. Like I'm like I get that. I know that guy.
Right?
All right. So we ready? Bye bye.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready for it.
All right. I'm gonna give
Got some
myself a
windows
little.
open.
This is my little marker to myself, so I know when to edit, 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 edit. All
Yeah, yeah.
right. Hello. My name is Brian Loston, and today I'm speaking with Nick Emard. Nick will be sharing his knowledge about majoun, a traditional food from Egypt. Nick is a member of actually, he's a member of the Colorado weed growers community, gardeners community, but more importantly, his ancestry lies with the North African and Egyptian communities. And that's the cultural group that this food originates from. So, hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Relatively lucky in such a regard that this is something that I was essentially raised on, and by happenstance, I can infuse it because, yeah, that's just kind of how things
Well,
roll, you know.
well, we're gonna hold off on the infusion just yet because we want to get to that when we talk about how it's a medicine, and a transportable medicine is something I really want to touch on. But as far as cultural significance or a story about the food, well, actually, no. First, could you describe the food?
Uh, the way that I seen it was specific to my family. Um, I first encountered it when I was real young, when my grandma was making it. She absolutely loved anything out of Philadelphia,
Okay.
and the gal could darn near drink honey. She had a sweet tooth, so anything that she could slather in honey and roll in almonds, she absolutely would. And there was nothing her type 2 diabetes was going to do about her love of honey. So this is just something that I had the pleasure of getting at most holidays while she was still with us. So it holds a special place in my heart, you know?
Nice. And so, was it just the honey and the almonds and the Philadelphia, or were there other
Um,
combinations?
typically it was a Philadelphia honey almond mix, a little bit of sugar in with the almonds, but like I said, it was specific to our family group.
Well, no, I
Uh, I
understand
had
that.
I had an auntie who had a thing for adding dates to it as well.
Okay.
But again, individual taste and preference usually goes into making such things. So,
So, how would you actually make it? Like, I have my Philadelphia, I have my almonds.
let's see. Um, I've never made it myself, but if memory serves, the best way to describe it for the American audience is a essentially kind of puffball, at least how we made it. Uh, Graham would take a couple of bits of the Philadelphia paper sheets,
Hmm.
a little bit of nuts, sprinkle of sugar, roll it up, roll it, and usually she had like a little bit of egg wash, touch of oil in her hands that she would wet her hands with the wash. She would ball it so that the Philadelphia would stick to itself, and then she would give it another layer of the almond and sugar mix, and then give it a kind of puff pastry kind of balling, leaving a little kind of top frilly little thing over the top because she just wanted to be able to cup it, close it, and she just tapped it down. It always made this cute little topper on the top.
It
So
almost sounds like a moon rock in
yeah,
preparation. Like,
yeah, it's very close. You could make moon rocks using something similar, but
yes, I mean, in basic concept, that is,
I mean, again, the idea runs when you're baking, so
yes,
you run with it.
yes.
So
Now,
after that,
would it always be baked, or could you eat it raw as
mm,
well?
if we I've only ever seen it baked, but again, this was specific to our
Oh no,
family. So,
I happened across a recipe online where it was basically take some sort of grain, your honey, and whatever nuts or fruit, and roll it up like you said, and then that's it. But it was all stuff you wouldn't have to cook to eat. It
oh
was literally like a medicine ball in your hand that you could walk around with.
no, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of my grandmom's sister running with those,
Okay.
but the argument runs the differences between the differences between
Yeah. Oh shit.
vehicle.
Yeah.
And are you still there, my dude?
Yeah. I'm here. I've had to.
There we go.
Yeah. No. I forgot I'm on the internet, not the Wi-Fi.
No,
I'm
you're
on
fine.
I'm on the Wi-Fi, not my phone. I mean, oh, we're good. Sorry. Continue. Sorry.
No, no, no. You're fine. Just making sure we're good for the recording. But the difference between what you can make while you're at home and have an oven or fry oil is a little different than what you do out in the field or when you're trying to prep something for a camping trip or to pack for your husband, brother, uncle, or whoever that's about to go across the desert for trading salt.
Yeah. Now,
Uh,
when you talk about that and the travel ability of it, would that been one of the cultural significantly things about the food was the travel ability? Travel,
y-
is that a word? Is that the right word?
y-
Travel ability?
yeah,
Yes.
or close.
Yes.
The difference is what you would bake at home had a shorter shelf life,
Yeah.
and because there was more people at home, it didn't matter if it had a 5 day shelf life because it was going to get eaten. But the stuff that you could roll into a ball and send out with husband or uncle or whoever that was about to travel, that would last for so freaking long because you were using essentially raw honey that the honey
Yeah.
itself had antibacterial properties.
Exactly. It was the
So,
original Band-Aid. That's
no, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So, and frankly, Egypt has been using honey for all sorts of interesting things. They're still finding honey in old pharaoh tombs and high-ranking officials' tombs.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's still good. A lot of the
it's
times, it's still good. It's
it's
weird.
a great carrier.
No,
It's
it really is.
I mean,
So,
when you're talking shelf life, if I was to make honey or an olive oil that was infused, I would definitely pick honey over the olive oil. Like that's just me though.
right. Uh, I would simply ask for context.
Yeah.
Um, but that's me. For me, if I can put olive oil on something or in something or cook in olive oil, I'm going to. But
Let's just
that
say if I was going to go 40 days across the desert because Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, right? So if I was going to go 40 days across the desert, I would take a honey that had maybe like infused with capsaicin before I took an oil infused with capsaicin because the honey would last longer. And it would like make the things in the desert I'm likely to encounter taste better, you know?
right. But there is something to be said for having a small container of your favorite olive oil
Oh, no, I agree.
to travel with. Because sometimes you're lucky enough to come across fish or goat herder or some reason why you would need an oil. And
True.
especially in ye olden times, especially in a third world country where people would walk 1,000 miles along the Silk Road to have half a quart of olive oil on you or whatever oil you can come across, frankly, because you're
Yeah,
traveling. But frankly, to have a small amount of oil and a pinch of salt on you would get you a hell of a lot further than having a similar amount of honey. And
fair
mind
enough.
you, yes, honey is still highly valued, but I,
I
I,
got
I
you.
will trade for salt and oil first.
All
It's
right,
just
so if we're back on the traveler thing, and we got to bring it back to the food because we both like to do that. Um, but no, let's say, and we're just going to jump right into the cannabis part of it. So it can be infused, the mahjong, and it's
yes.
typically an edible confectionery, meaning infused with cannabis. Yeah, cannabis was medicine when this was created. Can you think of any other modern day things you might add to it, like that? Like if we were going to pass this on to the next generation, they gave us this dish with cannabis, what would you add to it down the medical vein, like for the next generation?
Um, I would I would simply try to apply a little bit more science to things than say my ancestors would have.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we know a lot more things today than our ancestors did, but they were definitely onto something.
Oh yeah.
So I would try to figure out if it was a single cannabinoid, was it one or
Well,
the other, was it
well,
a
yeah, but
combination?
that's for the cannabis. But what about for the actual mahjong dish? What would you do? What would you add to that? Like, so say
Oh,
you had somebody who's like, Nick, I need your perfect recipe for this dish. These are my ingredients. I have infused honey. I have almonds. I have, oh God, I'm blanking on the name of the other thing.
dates,
Dates.
Villa,
Yeah,
or your grains of some kind.
exactly. So, what are thinking of it as a medicine? What are you adding in?
Um,
Does that make
given
sense?
the it no, it does. Given the topic at hand, I think simple is best in this particular case,
Okay.
especially if you're going to travel with it.
Okay.
Uh, you don't necessarily want to add too many things that's going to spoil this particular item any faster than necessary.
Okay.
Because
And that's
you're
that's.
gonna want. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say they so basically they perfected the dish thousands of years ago.
Uh,
That's
for its intended purpose of travel, yes,
yes.
but
I,
it, if we're catching in for more the Western palate and refrigeration and that kind of thing, you could frankly go far more desserty with it and again, like my grandma, add more filo dough, add sugar, add some of the
or
luxuries in life that we have while we're at
some of the
home, you know?
some of the fudges that you see. Maybe even perhaps a marmalade.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Exactly.
but then I'd feel like you'd run the risk of it becoming a fruitcake if.
I, with the way that I understand it, Middle Eastern folk have a one hell of a sweet tooth,
Yeah.
so I
Fair
don't
enough.
think that you'd catch too many complaints amongst us, especially while at home or on holiday. Heck, grandmom added refined sugar to a honey dish.
Okay, that's I mean, there is that. Oh, how are you? Oh, that's yeah, that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
To
like
be perfectly honest, it's a struggle for me to keep my sugar intake under control. I'm
now,
losing weight, and I'm going to keep it like that.
okay, so you're on a diet and a journey to lose weight. How would you adjust the dish to meet those needs?
Um, I would be more specific about the things that I use. I would make sure that the nuts and seeds that I use were lower fat, higher nutrition. I would
Okay,
use more dates,
okay,
and I would focus on more of a whole grain over a filo dough,
okay,
just to help control the sugar spiking. Because at the end of the day, this is a high carb, high sugar, modest fiber, and plant-based protein food.
so
So
it's just gonna sit in that bloodstream. That's
yeah,
yep, I get
well,
it.
and that's the thing. Given my diet, if I can control how quickly those carbs convert into sugar
Yeah.
and regulate how much honey is on each individual serving, so it doesn't hit you all at once.
Mhm.
If you're traveling, you want a smooth ride, not jittery all of a sudden, then a crash an hour
Yeah,
later. You have to travel 10 hours, you know?
exactly. No, I get it. I like it. I like it. Oh, we already answered this one, but beside your gram and Christmas and holidays, were there any other specific times or occasions you can think of when it was prepared? Like in
Uh,
your family?
Um, not usually. Given the way that my gram made it, it was one of those items that it was special occasion, and because of how she made it, it was a little bit more time consuming.
Okay.
So,
It was the process of it.
no, exactly. It's like rolling grape leaves.
Yeah.
It is, it's a process to make a pot, but it's loved by everybody. It's absolutely delicious. But to make a pot of grape leaves, it's 2 to 3 hours to make a large pot. So
There should be an
you
AI
don't
for that.
always, you don't, huh?
There should be an AI for that.
I don't think that I would eat it though. Meshi is one of those food types that it's made with love by the grumpy,
Yeah.
and if you don't let Graham have the first half a dozen pieces, she will fight you.
See, and
It's
I'm
it's
not a grape
glorious.
leaf guy. I don't like the taste. And I've tried, oh man, because I grow grapes in San Antonio, so I do like grape wrapped chicken and this and that, but I just don't,
Hmm.
it's okay, but it's not like my favorite.
Now, the question that I have to ask is, are you used to a Greek grape leaf or
So
a
I
or
grew some grapes. I grew some grapes and I
okay.
used the leaves from the grapes I grew. That's a
Uh,
we're not going any further than that.
okay, fair. That's a whole other conversation that I would love to get into
Yeah,
with you at another
one,
time.
one is white, one is red. But yeah. No, okay. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share about Mahjong that we haven't covered?
No, given its simplicity and I think we've covered it. It's a simple enough thing, especially for travel, that just about portion control anything beyond anything else. I think we're good.
So here's the question, because I've never seen this particular dish. Oh, we're going off. Oh, wait, hold on. Nick, I'd like to thank you so much for sharing your time, and I appreciate your knowledge on the subject and the stories of your gran and you taking the time out of your day. Mahalo. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now that's done. All right, so I'm gonna actually stop the recording. I don't I don't do this very often. And no, I don't want to end meeting. How do I stop recording? Sorry, I don't Zoom.
No, you're fine.